Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Early Retirement Club's Monday Night Team Call with your hosts, Sky Michael Wood, yay! Bobby Bowman, yay! And Randy and Jennifer Arnold, yay, yay! Let's get ready to team call! Hello, everybody. Welcome. Glad to have you on here. Sorry we had technical difficulties. It's been a long time since we've done one of these, and there were little things at the very end there that we were not prepared for to happen, like they changed how you go online and stream live, so we couldn't figure out how to do it. Anyway, listen, we got Tony Birch here, as you can see behind me. What's up, buddy? How are you, man?
Good, brother. Doing good.
Well, glad, man. Glad to have you on here. I enjoy getting to spend some time with you. Well, listen, man, I'd love for you to share with all these fine people some great words of wisdom. I know in all the years you've been in this company and building it to a platinum level and having most of the people on this call underneath you as well, you know, that you've certainly been through the trenches, man. Why don't you give these guys some great advice? And go ahead, man. I'll turn it over to you.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah. It's a little
Okay.
bit, it's a little muffled up or kind of strange sounding, but
I'm trying to find where the microphone is on this. This is Tristan's computer. If you can't hear me, I'll try to use my big boy voice.
yeah. All right, go for it.
Well, guys, it's an honor to be on with you tonight. I got to spend some time with Sky today. First time I got to see him in a while. It was really good to catch up. Can you hear me? Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Well, listen, guys, it's an honor to be on here. When Sky helped me from the very get go, my host, and I'm very thankful for him every day for sharing this with me. But he had some personal things going on earlier on when I signed up with Team National, and so he didn't work it. So I had to go up the chain and find some people, and Sky was very gracious to come help me. And Sky does an amazing job of telling me how to do the business. I was more of a workhorse and didn't really have a clue what I was doing, but I knew to listen to him because he was making extremely good money, and it was just an honor to get to know him. Probably never known him had for this company, and it's just been it's a cherished friendship. Um, I didn't know what I was doing, and I remember him telling me to get to the convention, and I really didn't want to go to my first convention. I'd probably been involved about a month, probably 2 months, when the convention showed up in Atlanta, and I just thought you would get cheerleadered on, and didn't really want to be cheerleadered on. But I knew I needed to learn what I was talking about. And Sky said, if you want to make it, you've got to go. And boy, was he right. I was a changed person after the first convention. And I think what it did for me was just built my belief. I don't believe you can, firm believer you can't build Team National if you don't believe in it. And I don't think you can truly ever believe in it to the point you need to if you don't get to big events to see the big picture. It's hard to tell someone about that. So you have to experience it. Every time I go to a convention and get back, people say, well, tell me what you learned. Well, you just really can't do that. I would love to bottle it up and bring it back, but it's one of those things you have to experience. Uh, just did what he said do. I remember it was life changing. You have to be very intentional about Team National. Team National won't just happen for you. You have to plan your days. You have to say, okay, I've got a minimum I'm going to do today, and you have to stick with it. If you don't, it just won't get done. And when he told me to talk to 5 a day, I thought, my goodness. But it was worth it to me because the way I looked at it, it was building. Once you got the fire big enough, it wouldn't require you to work that hard the rest of your life. But just like anything, there's work to do on the front end for sure. And I did just what he said do, and it was life changing. The Team National retired me after 10 months. At the time I looked at Team National, I had 3 jobs. I was a full-time government employee. I was bouncing on the weekends, and I was working at GNC part-time. I was actually working about 80 hours a week, and was tired of it. I was praying for something, and then Team National come along. And I remember I signed up with that Stormy, my wife being there, come home to tell her what I've done. That's back when $2,200 was an extreme amount of money for us. And we got in an argument. Well, it really wasn't an argument. She was mad at me. She said, I need to go get my money back. And I finally had to convince her that I wouldn't do anything to her or her family. And I knew I couldn't explain it to her. It was kind of, you had to experience it. Next day, my friend came and showed her, and he showed my aunt. My aunt was someone I really respected. She taught high school for about 30 years. And when my aunt stamped the seal of approval on it, then I felt like I had really done something that could change some things. I called up three of my buddies, and they saw it the way I did. And, and I remember telling them, and I don't know why I had, I guess it's law enforcement. I don't know why I had the posture I've had. I had been in competitive powerlifting and stuff. And the thing I know about being good at something is you have to be willing to do what the others aren't. We're all got talents, and I was pretty good at powerlifting, but it didn't just come real easy. I had to work real hard. I remember one of my buddies I'd want to meet one Saturday, and he come up to me and said, "I would like to be as strong as you are, Tony." And I said, "I really have a hard time believing that because when I come through on Friday nights, just have left the gym, you're on the back of a pickup truck drinking beer. So you don't really want to be as strong as me or you'd be in the gym." And see, I understood that to make millions, I would probably have to do more than the average person was willing to do. And that just made sense to me. I don't think every kid gets a trophy. And so, that's the thing. I told my buddies, I said, "Listen, I don't know whether you do this with me or not, but I'm going to do it. And if you don't do it, I'll find some people that will." And they also told me, "You can't go without us." So first 3 days of Team Action, I made about $700. And fortunately, I got to be with Sky and Brad and some more of the Platinums that Friday night at Brad's house. And, getting exposed to people that have been successful pretty quick, that made a big difference also. But the first 10 months retired me and my wife. I don't know anywhere on the face of the earth that for the amount of investment monetarily that you put into this, and you can grow it to such a big income. I mean, I just don't know anywhere else that you could do that with anything else. And it saddens me that more people don't take a serious look at a way they could really be. A lot of people have preconceived notions, and I would have. Here's a nugget for you. My buddy didn't tell me what he wanted me to come look at, because I probably wouldn't have went, to be honest with you. He had a bunch of tire stores, and I had my CDL license, and I'd help him part-time sometimes haul off some stuff. But I knew he made good money with what he did. And he just told me, he said, "Listen, if you want to make some serious money with me, we need to get together." But if he'd have said it was network marketing or something like that, I would have probably not ever showed up. I would have told him I showed up. I'd have said, "Oh, I'm not interested." But I'm thankful every day that he didn't try to explain it. And that's the thing. Don't tell too much up front. They really need to see it for themselves. But it sure is an honor to be on here. Scott does a wonderful job of teaching, and I'm not a very good teacher. And we used to all do a call together, and then I guess we all kind of went our separate ways, got a lot going on. But I've decided that if Sky will have me, that I think it'd make more sense to come back and combine the call together, because he really excels at teaching. And I know a lot of people on my team could really benefit from that. I fall short a lot of times when it comes to teach. I do okay, if you got a question for me or whatever, but I struggle to come up with it's just not one of my strengths. I mean, I'm not embarrassed to say that. It's not a strength of mine, and it is a strength of Sky. So I feel honored that Sky is able to do what he does. But guys, it's absolute honor to be on the phone tonight or on the call. Look forward to doing this many more times. Sky, really anything that you'd like me to touch on? I'm just glad to be here, bro.
Well, yeah, Tony, I know, yeah, you're right, man. To come in here and build this business, you got to make a decision, or to build it big. You can build it average, you can build it small. You've seen people do that, but if you really want to build this business big, you've got to come in and you got to take charge. You got to have very focused, massive action. I know you came to me, Eric had disappeared for 8 months. He disappeared, but right after he disappeared, I couldn't reach him. You couldn't either. And you came to me and said, Sky, I know this thing will work, man, but I need some help, getting this thing done. And so I told you the first thing was to get down to that convention. After you came back from that convention, I can't remember the numbers, man, but I know they're up there, dude. But if I remember, they had a contest for 6 weeks, and in that time you hosted 27 people after convention in that 6 weeks. Isn't that about right?
That is right. I remember me and Stormy just had gotten married, and I remember calling her after the convention and say, "Listen, I'm not coming straight home." Now I miss Stormy really bad, and I wanted to get home to her, but I was so fired up I had to actually make stops between Atlanta and my house to show Team National.
Right.
And there was a period there where I was the, and I'm not bragging about this, but don't mean it's just how fired up I was. I had hosted more than anybody in a short period of time. I remember, and just the edification that I was giving, you get kind of used to the whole recognition, and anyway, it made me feel really good that, and I just saw that I was doing it for my family, but it was, yeah, it was everything you told me was true.
Yeah, yeah, man. So, in your conclusion to everything, what do you think? Keep it simple, follow the system, get
Yeah,
on the 90-day challenge, right?
exactly. I believe the 90-day challenger. If you'll do that seriously and don't quit halfway. But I believe a person would have to do many 90-day challenges in their entire career because of the momentum that the 90-day challenge creates. It carries you. It's like building a fire with that 90-day worth of activity. I believe the fire gets so big that it's like building a fire. You don't have to be standing over. It's like starting a fire, and you have it burning where it's burning big logs. And yes, you keep an eye on it, and but you don't have to work yourself to death. And
Right.
that makes all the difference in the world. And keeping it simple, I've seen a lot of people with a lot of credibility come into Team National, and they don't use the system. That hurts people because if you have a lot of credibility or a lot of pull, that's great, but that only carry you so far because everybody that you're bringing into the business probably doesn't have that. And if you don't give them a system that they can follow so they can be successful, because we all know that your downline being profitable is your profitability. That's your future. And they have to be profitable because people won't keep going and doing something that you're not seeing results in. And if you don't give them a way that they can gain results pretty quick, most people will not continue to bump their head against the wall and not see any results. And I've seen that. I had a really good friend that done really well, but he had a lot of credibility, but he wouldn't work the system. And the people he was bringing on board couldn't duplicate what he did. And, they were not seeing the success. And his success didn't last very long because it's sort of like being a salesman of cars. If you don't make this duplicatable, yeah, you can still make money, but you're doing all the work because no one's really helping you. If you're not making a sale, you're chasing points, and the team is not working the way this is designed. It's not a pipeline. It's trading time for money. It's like a job, and I don't know anybody that gets in here to want another job.
Yeah, right. I always say the only reason anybody has a second job is because the first one that they have can't pay the bills they have.
Exactly right.
Nobody jumps in because they want extra work just for the fact of working. Um, well, Tony, I got a great announcement to everybody. We're, as of next week, going to have you coming back to join us on the Monday night team call again. So we're bringing your Wednesday call back into the Monday call like back in the day. And I tell you what, man, we had a heck of a community, and I look forward to building that up again. Just a lot of great stuff, man. And so I'm excited to have you back on the call again. And folks, let me tell you, this guy right here is filled with wisdom and can help you tremendously in this business to dig within you and be the most that you can be. Tony, thanks so much for being on here on the Skype call. Sorry, on the little difficulties there, but hey, we'll get them worked out and have it better and better each time. But man, thanks so much. Really appreciate you being on the call tonight, brother.
Thank you so much. It was an honor.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Same thing to have you on here as well, brother. All right, well, thanks so much, Tony. Listen, he's right in all those aspects. When you come into the business, that you're going to most definitely have to, um, utilize the system. When you got credibility, and listen to this, if you've got credibility or you bring somebody on board who has credibility, you have to teach these guys how to utilize their credibility right. And a lot of people in that position can tend to be a little bit prideful, so be tactful in how you talk to them about how to utilize credibility. I'm, if you know me, I'm just kind of straight to the point. So I say, hey, listen, being in your position, you have great credibility. Now, you can utilize that in a good way or a bad way. If you do it in the bad way, you can still sign people up, but you won't have a residual income. If you do it the right way, you can sign people up and have them sign people up and continue that residual coming down through there, and you get to count all the referrals from them. See, so if you utilize credibility right, and what I mean is that let's say that you've got a doctor that comes in. Let's say Dr. Riggins under Tony Birch. Let's say Dr. Riggins comes in and he's got credibility. He makes a lot of money. He's a well-known doctor in the town. And so he goes and tells everybody, hey, you got to come sit down and check this out. And they all do, because this is the doctor. This guy knows how to make money. He knows what he's talking about, so they're going to trust him. He's got the kind of credibility that can sit them down in front of the business. Here's the problem. None of them have that kind of credibility. So how does someone know how to work this business? How you show them. See, this is a by example business. So the way that you do it is the only way they know how to do it. So and not just that, but you'll have people sit down like that and see somebody like Dr. Riggins and they go, well, or they're thinking inside. A lot of them won't even speak it, and they'll be thinking, well, of course Dr. Riggins can do this. He knows everybody, and everybody likes him, and they trust him, and they know him, but I can't do that. I can't get people just to come sit down, or they try and they find out that they can't the hard way, and then they either don't do anything or they dismiss themselves, either to not even join up or dismiss themselves. They join up because they see the opportunity. They want to be a part of what this credible person is a part of, but they don't inside believe they can do it. I equate this to if you think about your point in life right now. If at this point in your life, at your age and your physical condition and all that it would take to do it, since these guys train from childhood, most of them, do you think that at this point in your life you could go out tomorrow and start training to be and become a gold medal winning Olympic long jump champion? Do you believe that at this point in your life? See, I'd say that almost everybody would say no. At this point in your life, you're already over 18 if you're on this video anyway, most likely you should be anyway to be an IMD. Then at this point in your life, the physical training, conditioning, and the sponsorship you'd have to find, and to get onto the Olympic team, and then to get to the Olympics, and then to win the gold medal in the long jump is just probably not even a thought that could cross your mind of a possibility. And which means tomorrow you're not going to go out and start training to be an Olympic gold medal winning long jump champion, right? You're not going to go out and train for that tomorrow because you know that you can't be that. Well, you see, if you put people in a position where they see what could be done but never believe they can actually do it or reach that place or make that kind of money, the same thing. They're not going to go out tomorrow and start training to be a long jumper. They're not going to go out tomorrow and start training to be an entrepreneur millionaire. They're not going to engage because they don't even believe it can happen in the first place. You understand? Well, listen, I've got something really exciting. This is really cool. I talked to these guys the other day, Jeff Barnes and Wendy Benton. We're going to bring Jeff on here first, but look, I was talking with these guys the other day, and he started telling me how he had shown this lady by a webinar, because we don't have the webinar really. So I want him to just come on here and share with you a little bit, and then Wendy, who's the one that kind of ran with this thing and changed it up, I'm going to have her talk to you. I find this really, really, really fantastic stuff. So, Mr. Jeff Barnes, how are you, brother? Welcome aboard, man. Hey, turn your phone sideways.
Oh, well, we tried it. Oh. We tried that, Scott, and it wouldn't work. So.
Oh, well, all right. Well, we're going to get the thin version of you. What's up, buddy? How you been, man?
I'm fantastic. Just like you, brother.
Right on, right on. Well, come on, man. Share with us some. Mitch will bring it in on you, and
Okay.
And give us some good stuff, man. Tell them what's going on, and I want to tell them after all of this how I want to apply this in a personal sit down with someone too. So go ahead, man.
Okay. Sky, what I did, I've known Wendy's family for years, and I had contacted her. I'd got back in contact with her, and she lives in Fayetteville, North Carolina. So I was trying to figure out how to get this in front of her. So what I did one day is just sat down, and in my head I had her draw this out, and I went through everything just like we do, and uh, when she drew it out, she had done network marketing before, and she said this is the first time that I have ever understood a binary compensation plan. She had made money in them, but she had never really understood them. She just made the money. So she and I came together, and I told her what I wanted. We thought this would be a good way to show other people, and with the business that she does now, I'll let her tell you about that. I knew that she would be showing people all over the country, this. So we had to figure out how to get this in front of a lot of people in different areas of the country. So what we did, I told her what I wanted, and she sat down and actually drew a skeleton of the compensation plan out with a 000 box, and then our Bob box was an A box, and our Sue box was an H box. But under the A box, we put B and C, and you can put your own names in there, and we just go down through there. We've got the dotted line as the 10, with the 10 on the left and 10 on the right on one sheet of paper. And then we have the 101 on the left side. And when we do that, we bring the two pieces of paper together, and it comes together like a puzzle. When we do the 101 paper and get them to understand there's 10 points on the left side of the 101, we just put our left hand on top of the 101 paper and our right hand on top of the 000 paper, move the papers together until they touch, and then they understand where the right side of the 101 is coming from. And just like you were saying the other night, when people are doing something on their own, they have 30% retention of it. And what Wendy and I started to see was that the people we were showing, by the time they got to the 102 box on the right side, they already had it. They understood our compensation plan just like Wendy was. And then, we got with you and told you about it, and you thought it was great. So, we're going to go with it and run with it like that.
All right. Hey, wait. You know what? Listen, I know we talked about this, and you're saying, you get them on there, they go through the savings, see all that, and then ask them,
Yes.
if they want to make some money, become an IMD, and then at that point, once they email and say they want to be, then you send them these papers,
Yes.
and they bring them out, and these guys are doing this from the beginning, man, and so
Exactly. By no means am I saying this is the way to do it, other than what we have been taught in the past. What I'm just saying is when we have to get with somebody, at different parts of the country in such a small period of time, or even like you're wanting to do with it, just take it with somebody, when you're there in front of them and let them draw it out like you're going to get into in a minute.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying, because, me and how we do this, I want to make sure that they understand everything. And then, of course, when we get to the money side, if they're interested to become an IMD and want to actually learn the compensation and how it works. And so, I find this fascinating, man, because, especially with what transpired, and I wish we could bring both in at the same time, both of you in at the same time. But what transpired from that is that you shared this. Wendy says, yeah, I want to make some money with this company. I want to be an IMD. Boom, she jumps on and she starts filling it out herself. So,
Right.
Don Garrison, he said there's two reasons that a person won't join this company. He said number one is they don't understand it. Number two, they don't understand it. So, in this, with this process, with her doing this from the beginning, she understands it as she's drawing it out. So now we're gonna go over, and I'll talk for just a second, and we'll pull you off here, and Mitch is gonna bring Wendy on the line here, and I want to show everybody how this translates. Did you have anything else you wanted to add in, Jeff, before we jump off here?
Yes. When we do it like this, Sky, it leaves no margin for error. We can actually be going down the road and just talking to them on the phone, just like Wendy and I. I've been going down the road, and Wendy's sitting in North Carolina, and we're showing somebody in South Dakota, and this way there's no margin for error because they have this piece of paper in front of them that they're seeing, and we tell them, okay, who do you know that might like to save and make money? Well, they say Ann. We'll put Ann in the A box right there. Right. And if they're doing it by themselves, there's no guarantee that they may draw a line up and a line sideways, but with this, they've got a diagram in front of them that they can follow.
Right. And, and the other part, for any of those you're wondering, how you get to that part, what we're doing is just going straight to your personal website. You've got the success stories on the personal website. You can show the video right from the personal website, and you've got the virtual savings guidebook right on the personal website. So you can go on there and walk them through. I just tell them turn to page 10, and start at the credit card part, and then walk through and share that with them that way. And then and then the applications are on there, so they can still keep that page up, and then have you, if they decide that they want to be an IMD, boom, they've got the applications right there, the IMD form, boom, you send them that. They want to learn the compensation plan, then you're going to walk through and let them fill it out so that they understand it. Man, I absolutely love it, and I'm going to talk about what I want to do, with that as well. So we'll jump off here with you, Jeff. Hey, man, thanks so much. I was really excited about this, and Wendy's going to get them more excited when she talks about the other part of it. And then I want to talk about what I'd like to add, and then we'll bring the other guys in after that. We'll bring Bobby and then Randy and Jennifer in after that. So,
yes, sir.
Jeff, man, thanks so much, brother. Glad to have you on the call.
Yes, sir. It's been an honor.
Yes, indeed, to have you as well. So, all right. So go ahead and we'll switch that over. We're going to bring Wendy on here next. So this is what I'm wanting to do with this, okay? So, I'm wanting, when I sit down with people, I show them, and I just walk them through the actual savings guidebook. And so they walk through, understand the savings, any questions that they have. I put them, on the closing call before we even get to that. And then, so they understand, they hear about positioning and stuff like that. So when it comes down to that, I'll wait until Wendy's done since we've already got her on here. So come on, Mitch, add Wendy in here. Hi, Miss Wendy, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Shoot, girl, I'm fantastic. Well, listen, I was really excited when I talked to you guys the other day about this. So tell us your story from when this started and what you've had going on since then, and the kind of responses that you've had. We'll zoom in on you.
Okay. When Jeff told me that he did a home business, we kind of started talking about it, and he started telling me, kind of going through the system, and he was actually aggravating because he went through the system, and I just wanted to know what it was, but he made me do it the right way. And when it came down to explaining to me how to make money, he told me, he said, get a blank piece of paper, and he said, I want you to draw out what I tell you to. And I did it. And I've been in network marketing before, so I understood, what he was saying. And as he's telling me what to do, I'm sitting here thinking, you can tell me all day long what to do, but I'm not going to get this, because out of all the companies I've ever done, even though I made money, I didn't have a clue how I was making it. And so he told me what to do. And it was kind of funny because the more he talked and the more I drew, for the first time I thought to myself, I'm actually getting this. And it was kind of weird to me because I've never got it before. And so we went through the whole thing, and he was asking me all these questions, and I had my paper in front of me. And obviously, I got excited enough about it that I decided to join. And anyway, so I started making my list of people, and I own a networking business for women, and I come in contact with about 200,000 women a week. And so I started thinking, there's so many women out there that either work another business or they're looking for a business, and I just wanted to help as many as I could. And so I thought these people are not near me. They're all over the United States. So how are we gonna tell them about it the way that the system works? So I told Jeff what I wanted to do with. I said the way you explained it to me. I said if you can do that with everybody that's on a three-way, I said I can't imagine that these ladies won't get excited about what you're telling them. And so I made the chart. I left them blank, and like Jeff said, I didn't want anybody to be confused, because if you haven't done network marketing and you're telling them to draw a square here and a line here, unless they've seen that before, I mean, they don't have a clue what they're doing. So I didn't want anybody to be confused. I wanted them to be able to understand what we were doing. And the first person that we tried it with was my mother, which she's been in network marketing, but even though I was sitting next to her when she did it, and of course Jeff was on the phone, and she was writing in everything. And what was interesting is as she was putting names in those squares, she was making her list of people that she wanted to talk to. And so, of course, we mentioned that at the end, and of course, she signed up. And then we've been doing this all last week. I had a little delay. We had a hurricane come through, so we lost power and water. So my business kind of got put on hold for a couple of days. But yesterday we had no power, we had no water. So I was just emailing people, trying to get appointments for today or whenever I got power. And luckily we have power, yay. And so, but I mean, doing it this way is amazing. I mean, we're helping people, and we're being able to tell people, how this compensation works. And when they start seeing the money, it's almost like they love the membership and they're ready, but then they start seeing the money, and you can literally hear it in their voices, that they see a change in their life. So, I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, that is so cool. That is so cool. That's absolutely right. I was so, when you guys were talking to me, I gotta tell you, I've been around for a while. I've been doing this for a minute. I've heard a lot of people's ways and different things that they're doing. And, so when you started talking, I wasn't, I'll be honest, I was thinking, okay, I'm listening. Here's another story about how somebody jumped on. But as you got into talking about what you were doing, I was just like fascinated. I'm like, man, this solves it all. It's the reason I do most of the stuff that I do and have done, and the different things that I try to do, is because of Don Garrison saying, hey, there's 2 reasons a person won't join. And, and I had to come to that conclusion myself, really, Wendy, because I would sit down with people and show them this, and not everybody would jump on board. And really, honestly, I couldn't understand how anybody could see this and not jump on board. It just did not make sense to me. And Don Garrison put it, he said there's only 2 reasons: they don't understand it, or they don't understand it. And so I wanted to make sure that they understood it. And I tell you, there's no better way. I talk about how retention level on just an audible level is about 7 to 10%, on audio and video level is about 27 to 30%. To get anywhere above that, and especially up towards 100%, the only way to do that is to actually be teaching it and doing it. And that's what you guys are getting them to do right from the start. They're literally, getting the membership, and then, wanting to learn about the money. And then in the learning of the money, they're really learning it and understanding it because they're doing it. So, what I thought about doing, I started talking about. But also, before we get into that, you're going to have to tell the story of your posture on the Philip guy. You got to tell this story. It's so good. So I'll let Mitch zoom back in on you and give them the full spectrum of this story of what happened. This is so funny.
Well, I called a friend of mine, and we've done some companies in the past together. And he's going to be amazing. He's going to be a leader. I mean, he's just amazing at what he does. And so I called him, and I told him that I had something I wanted to share with him. And he wanted to know what it was right then, but I had other appointments, and so he had to wait. But we squeezed him in later on that night, and we told him about it. And then we scheduled the next call for the following day. And when I called him, he was having a hard time deciding. He was like, I want to do it, but I don't want to do it, and I just don't know. And anyway, he said, I don't know if I have the time. And you have to understand that's a big thing for me because I'm a single mom. I have 4 children. I homeschool my 4 children. I have 3 dogs, a house, and I run a business, and I have church. So I'm sitting here thinking, time. What is time? Because if anybody has time to do it, if I can do it, anybody has time to do it. I mean, I have 5 minutes extra in a day, but my life and my kids' life and my financial status is important to me. So even though I didn't have time to do Team National, I found the time to do it. So I told him, I said, look, I said, it's either yes or no. Either you want to do it or you don't want to do it. And needless to say, he's doing it and he's on our team and he's going to be awesome. But, you know, I think when you're talking to people, I think they have to realize that your time is money, and you just can't let people sit there and think about it too long, because what's to think about? Either you want money or you want to gripe about not having money. It's
I
pretty
know,
simple.
I know there was something very specific that you said to him, even besides just that. Do you remember exactly what it was when you postured up on him?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think you like went into a little bit more detail, but that's okay. That's fantastic. Listen, real proud of you. Brand new IMD. Got you on here looking like a movie star too, girl. All right, that's awesome. Well, hey, listen, Wendy, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you rise up in this company, and we sure appreciate you bringing this forward, and because I really believe this is going to help a lot of people. And like I said, I'm about to talk about what I'm going to do to implement that. And Mitch is going to get Bobby on the line with us. So, Wendy, thank you so much, sweetheart. We sure appreciate you being on here.
Thanks
and
for
sharing with everybody. You bet. Look forward to watching you go across the stage, girl.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, listen. So we'll have Bobby Bowman coming up here in a second. This is what I'm wanting to do with it. When I sit down with people and show them, and they, get the membership, they want to jump on board with us, and then say yes, they want to be an IMD. Then I'm going into the money, and I'm going to sit down and kind of go through how the program works, But this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to try this out and see how this works. If they want to make some money with us, I'm going to get these charts and I'm going to sit beside them, and I'm going to have them draw them out in their own lap or sitting right at the kitchen table, even better. I'm going to get them right at the kitchen table doing this themselves and figuring out how this thing works for themselves. And then they can figure out how the money. See, we unfortunately can't get into, like the money details and like that. We can get into $1,500 a month, $2,500 a month, in these different pay centers. But I'll tell you what, they got a calculator on their phone and they sit there and figure out how this thing works and do the math. They're going to see the kind of money that you can bring in this business, and it's absolutely incredible. And it's just like Don said. I heard Don Garrison, another thing Don said, I heard him say this in Kansas City once, and it changed the way I did my business. He said, he stood up on stage and looked at everybody in there. He said, I truly believe with all my heart and soul that the only way someone can see this business and not join, or join and not work the business, is if they don't truly, fully understand the compensation plan. Because if they did, they'd be doing this too. It's just too good and it's too simple. To do. And I mean, you think of, well, I'm not even going to get into all that. I think hopefully, have you got Bobby on yet here with us? Okay. Well, we're getting close. And we did run a little bit late, so it is possible that Bobby fell asleep. For those of you who know him are laughing about that right now. But something else that Wendy, that you said, and I'm glad I got a little extra time here because I want to talk about that. I know a lot of you have heard me talk about that on audio, but I want to get it on here. I talk about there's only one thing of real value. Now, everything else that you want, the things you love, the people, all that, it makes your life. But the fact is that without this one thing, you lose all of those things at the same time. You see, so, yeah, you might mute that.
It's supposed to be muted.
Oops. Hey, that's all right. It's my head. I'm ringing. Bobby, it's me. Pick up the phone. Well, anyway, there's one thing of true value, and that is time. So, I mean, you can't buy it. You can't get more of it. You have no idea how much of it you have left, and I've had people, tell me, it's like, I make $50 an hour. And I say, well, why in the world would you throw your life away like that? And they look at me like I'm crazy. And I'm like, well, I mean, you think about this, time's the only thing of real value, right? It's not the money part, it's the time part. So if you understand, think about this, you can't buy it, you can't get more of it, you have absolutely no idea how much of it you have left. So I ask these people, I say, tell me this, if you knew for a fact that you only had 5,000 hours left on this planet, would you sell me one for $50? And of course they always say no. And I say, so what's more valuable, time or money? And they say time. I say, right, it doesn't matter how many people you love, how many friends, how much family you have, how many cars, boats, houses, any of that. Once you're out of time, you're out of all of those too. So time's the biggest essential. And here's the thing, how much of your time are you spending where you don't want to be? See, if you're working a job working for someone else, and this is something I heard Anthony Foskey say on his double platinum speech, talking about the fact that if you're working for someone else, then you're selling your time. You're allowing them to buy your time at wholesale and turn around and resell it at retail. You see? So how many hours of the day are you selling off your most precious resource at wholesale? How many hours a week are you willing to put in to give away, basically, at wholesale to some company that's going to turn around and resell it at retail? How much time are you putting into that? And let me tell you how you get to the top of this company. This is the determining factor. How much time are you willing to put into this business, your business, so that you can create an income that sets you free of those other 40 to 60 to 80 to 100 plus hours a week doing what you don't want to do. You see, the determining factor is how many hours a week are you willing to be tired after work but still come home and go build this business? How many hours a week are you willing to put in to change your family's life, to change your income? You see, it only takes a short time to be able to come in, and have we got Bobby? Oh, cool, we got Bobby. So it only takes a short bit of time to come in here and put massive action in and create this. And let me tell you something, I'll let Mr. Bobby Bowman jump on here with us and share with him as well. Oh, good, we got him full screen too. So Mr. Bobby, how are you doing tonight, brother?
I'm great. Can you hear me, man?
Yeah, man, I got you, brother, loud and clear.
All right, I'm fantastic. Man, it's been a good week last week, and a lot of good things are going. Man, this is weird. I don't know what to think about this video, Sky.
Well, he'll zoom in on you, so it'll make it even bigger.
Oh, well, I don't know. I just got it on here. All right, what do you want me to talk about?
Hey, man, well, for one, what do you think about this that Wendy and Jeff were talking about? What do you think about that, man?
Well, I just got on here, so I don't know really what you're talking about.
Oh, well, you missed it. You'll have to go back and watch.
Okay.
Well, then we won't get into that part. Tell me this, Bobby. If someone's coming in here new in the business, and it takes a little bit, we talk about it all the time. I mean, it's like a job. You come in, you get a job, and you're really bad at the job when you first start that first day. You get a little better over a couple weeks, and over a couple months, you become pretty proficient at it. It's the same thing in this business. The biggest problem, I guess, we find is that people, they don't stick around long enough to get good at it. They think that if they're bad at it, and they forget they sucked at their job. They were terrible at it the first few days, or maybe even the first couple weeks they were really slow. And then 2 months later, they're better at it, and the new guy comes in and they're like, oh, look at that big dummy. He can't even do it. And you forget you were the big dummy 2 months ago that couldn't do it. so they forget about the trial part that they have, but they accept that because it's a job and they're training them. But they don't seem to want to accept, working through getting better at this and getting good at it and creating something that long-term for their family that can create. So what are your opinions on getting people cranked out from the beginning and getting them an understanding? Obviously personal growth, but give us some Bobby Bowman wisdom on how you get people to understand what they've got a hold of and to take action to go build this thing and work through the getting better at it until they get really good at it. Go for it, Mr. Bobby.
Well, that's a good point you bring up there. Well, I tell you, it all boils down to their why ain't strong enough. I mean, they just ain't got a strong enough why. I mean, you got to have passion about this business. If you're not passionate about anything in life, I mean, forget this business. If you don't have passion in what you're doing, you're not going to be doing it long. You got to love what you're doing to be successful at it, period. And that's just all there are to it. Now, did I like doing this business in the beginning? Heck no. I think people are stupid. I hated talking to them. But I'm going to tell you something. If you're going to be successful at anything in life, you're going to need people. You're going to need other people. That's just all. I don't care. You can either work for them or you can have them work for you. Now, the choice is yours. Now, you suck it up, Buttercup, and get on it. That's just kind of what I learned from Brad. You do it. Now, I done this business mad. And so, I mean, brother, you get mad at something, I promise you're going to put action to it. And some of you do it out of necessity. Like if your butt was on fire. I promise you that'd rake right up there putting that sucker out. No matter what you're doing. See? So some of you do it out of necessity. Some of you do it because you're mad. Some of you do it, for whatever reason. But it don't matter what your reason is. What matters is just do it. I don't care what your reason is. Just do it. And don't let other things crowd you out. I promise you, you have to fight for what you want. You got to fight for it. The world meets nobody halfway. This ain't free, folks. If you want it, you're going to have to go get it. You hear me? You're going to have to get out there, and you're going to have to do what you don't want to do. Do it anyway. That's what's going to change your life. That's what's going to change your future and leave a legacy for your children that they will never have unless you do it. So I just tell people to fight for what they want and don't let other stuff crowd it out. For instance, football. If your idea is sitting at home on Saturday morning and watching football or Saturday at lunch or whatever, listen, there's millions of people out there praying for you to help them. And what are you doing? Watch 22 men in tight pants kick a ball around. That's dumb. Yeah, I love football. I love it. But it's not going to change your life sitting on your couch. I promise you. Get out there. That's just the way I look at it, Sky. I mean, cut the TV off for 2 years, and you'll have everything in life you ever dreamed of having. So, that's what I tell people. Cut all the crap out and do what it takes to get the job done. We got the best leaders in the company. You have no excuse to fail other than you. And we're not going to let that happen here, are we, Sky?
No, sir. We most certainly are not. Hey, it's funny because Tony Birch used to quote, I believe, Les Brown all the time. And he said, once you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want takes over.
That's right.
And that was a good one. But yeah, man, you're right. Here's the other cool part, though. It's just like Brad. Brad, if you don't know, biggest basketball fan I've ever known and a basketball coach on top of it. And, this guy's just super passionate about basketball. And he went for years without watching a game. Years without watching a game. He was a coach and in love with his teams, too. And he went, how long was it, Bobby? You probably know better than I do. How many years?
2 years. First 2 years of his life, he didn't do nothing.
2 years, he didn't watch a ball game. And I tell you what, he went to the top of this company. But now, guess what? Now he gets 50-yard line tickets for football games. He gets center court tickets for the basketball games at his teams. He'll fly down to Louisiana and go watch his team play. sitting center court. You see, that's the difference. He turned it off for 2 years, went out, built this business, and now he gets to show up at the games in person. That's what you're looking for, ain't it, Bobby? I know you are.
I'm going to tell you what. Here's what I want people to think of, and then I'll shut up.
You want a me box, don't you?
That's
Skybox.
right. Skyball. Yeah, that's right. Listen, here's what I want people to think about tonight. I want you to envision $500,000 in your bank account. You hear me? $500,000 in your bank account. Angela Chrysler wants to send that to you, but you got to do the work. She's waiting. She's begging to send it to you. I promise you, her hand ain't hurting. She can write checks as long as you can do the work. Imagine what $500,000 will do for your family. It'll have you soaring like this eagle behind me. That's what it'll do. Live the life of your dreams, folks. Sky, I'm going to have to jump off here, man. I've got a call to make. Pleasure being on there. Thanks for having me on. This was kind of fun, man. See you later.
You bet, brother. See you, man. Thanks, Bobby. We appreciate that. We're going to go over, and Mitch is going to give Randy a call, and Randy and Jennifer Arnold, and we'll have them on here in a second. Yeah, man, you know, that's totally true. And Bobby, I always love your words of wisdom, and especially the way you put them, because they make me laugh a lot. But man, I mean, it's just dead on. You know, you got to take some seriousness into this. I mean, this is a business, right? I mean, if you owned a business, you think about this. If you owned a business that was, you know, on the strip, in the mall, whatever it is, in the square, whatever it is, you own a business, and you only showed up on Tuesdays from 4:30 to 5, how much business are you really going to do? I mean, think about it. How much business are you really going to do if you only show up 30 minutes a week to open the doors? This business is the same. You have to treat it the same. You understand? This is a business. If your doors aren't open, you're not making any money. Here's the beauty of this, is that with this business, if you do it right, if you'll come in here, keep it simple, follow the system, what you'll do is you'll start opening up franchises all over the United States. Little franchises here, little franchises there. See, every person that comes on, that's a new franchise. You see, and so once you've built that to a stable position, then guess what? Even if you're not showing up to open up the doors of your business, you're the franchisee, or the franchisor, whichever it would be. So you've got a lot of franchises underneath you that are bringing in the money even while you're on vacation and have the doors locked to your business. See? So this is where all the difference can come from. So is putting in that kind of action. Well, listen, we'll go over to Henniger here to Mr. and Mrs. Randy and Jennifer Arnold. What's up, guys? How are you?
We're great. How are you?
Doing fantastic, man. All right, well, cool. Hey, welcome. We got another video call. What do you think? Hey, and speaking of, what did you think about what Jeff and Wendy had to share?
Oh wow, man, that's just awesome. You know, it's hit or miss a lot of times with the ways that we have been doing this on online presentations and things like that. But you know what they've put together.
Look up.
What they, my boss.
He can zoom in on you.
What they put together. I mean, you know, it's just one of those things. Is, you know, why didn't I think of that sooner? Because it just makes sense. You know, interacting with your prospect, giving them a very good understanding, and you know, hands-on. It's one of the best ways to learn. Hands-on training. You know, I've always responded well to that, and you know, it's just incredible that we now, you know, have a simpler way to you know, get people hands-on with it. I talked to Jeff about it last week, and you know, it's incredible. They're excited about it. It's working. You know, it's productive. So you know, I think it'll be a great asset for everybody to use to, you know, to grow our team all over the country. And you know,
Yeah.
can't wait to try it out myself.
Yeah, I am too. You guys who are watching this, maybe you can be the guinea pigs. I used to use Tony Birch and Anthony Foskey as my guinea pigs. So I'd come up with something, and then Randy and Jennifer and Bobby and Eddie and Renee Meadows and yeah, I'd use them all as guinea pigs and figure something out. Like, hey, try this, and they'd come back. Yeah, it worked. All right, let's try some more, and we get more guinea pigs. So now we get a whole bunch of guinea pigs at once. So you guys try this out and give us some feedback on how this is working. I mean, on an in-person way. Of course, we know how it does on the webinars, and let us know how it does for you on that. But on an in-person way, see if you can get them engaged. They want to make some money with us. They want to be an IMD. Let them sit down and figure this out and draw it out for themselves and see how that works. Well, Randy, Jennifer, what you got excited for us this week? What's been going on with you? I'll let Mitch come in on you, and you guys give us some words of wisdom on some things that you think you should share with everybody. I mean, you've heard with the kind of the conversation tonight. Give us your take on everything.
I really thought that was awesome. And one of the aspects of, them drawing that out themselves is because they actually see themselves being successful with the drawing it out themselves. And I thought that was pretty awesome. Anything that you can do or that you can, there's always going to be something new that somebody's going to bring to the table. And any way that you can build this business and show other people how to be successful, that's going to be duplicatable. And, that's one of the things that I love, with that is that's very duplicatable, and that's showing someone that, they can do it and they can be successful, and, that they can do that from the very beginning. So, I think that's why she's found a lot of success, from the, the very start of it, is because she saw herself being successful and understood the system. That's one of the things, with Randy and I, we'd never been involved in any kind of network marketing, but, once we understood the numbers and understood the system, it just made sense. And I thought if Bobby could be successful doing this, so could we.
You did great. Man, I'm excited that people have something to be excited about with Team National. We've got the best thing since sliced bread, in my opinion, and it's hard not to do this business. I can't concentrate when you sitting there laughing.
Okay, I'm not laughing. Look there.
She tells me to look up at the camera, but yet she's got 3 phones here. We got 3 phones here with the YouTube broadcast on here, and I'm thinking.
Yeah,
what?
I know. I told you that. I said once you get on the phone, stop looking at the live video. Remember?
No, I was thinking that it said watch the live video.
Oh, no, I was like, do not, because there's like a 30-second lag between when we're talking right now and when they're seeing it live, but there's a streaming difference, So if you're watching that, you're already talking while you're talking.
Yeah, and he thinks it's when I'm laughing, anyways.
Well, I'll tell you another thing.
All right, back to you guys.
I'm excited about Tony Birch joining us on the call. I think it's awesome. I remember when we first signed up, and you had the Monday night team call with Anthony and Tony on there, and those times right there were just so exciting, and we had a lot of fun. And hey, Mitch, and we. Oh, okay. But anyway, I'm just excited that Tony's joining us back on the call. I'm looking forward to that. Tony's got a lot of wisdom in him, and he can, he can pour himself into other folks and just help them. And I'm just excited about that as well.
Yeah.
I love listening to Tony talk.
Yes, he definitely has a lot of compassion, and with Team National, and he definitely leads with his heart, and people can relate to that. And they have a very powerful, strong story, and a lot of people can benefit from hearing that and people sharing that. A lot of times, when you've been in this business for a while, that we think there's nothing that we could say that would help anybody, but that's absolutely not true. I mean, there's something that, God may have laid on your heart, to talk about that somebody else is needing to hear. And so, I really am excited about that, and excited, for them guys, to be a part of it, and, to help everybody else, and, just the team camaraderie, and showing the love, because, that's how, when we first took a look at Team National, that's how it was. And, we were super excited, and, just the group effort and seeing all that was just awesome.
Well, hey, looking forward to that. Many more Monday night calls with Tony Birch and Sky, just bringing back the good old days, and everybody will just, if they can get what we got in the beginning, I'm going to tell you, there's no way they can't be successful, because we had so much help in the beginning from you guys, and I don't know where we would be without y'all, and it's just incredible that I've got a real good feeling about that. And I hate to go on and on about it, but I'm just real excited about Tony being back on the call.
And I'll say, I'll add in there too that he was talking about the having. Oh gosh, my mind just left me. Yeah.
Come back.
The having credibility with people, because that was Randy and I mean, that's not, I don't think that's us in particular that he was talking about, but when Randy and I first took a look at Team National, we had a lot of credibility with a lot of people, and we hosted a lot of people really fast. And the thing of it was, we realized really quickly that that credibility is not duplicatable. And I mean, it's not at all. I mean, you think just because a lot of people that'll do this, that, you're going to be able to lock arms with them, and, they're going to make a ton of money. Well, and the thing of it is that if, you don't run them through the system, yeah, they're going to know a few people that may jump on board with them. But, the duplication is where the success comes from in this business. And, I always tell people that, you'll be duplicated in good and bad. Whatever you do, those people are going to follow you, because they see, that you're committed to this and that you want to be successful. And they just assume, because let's face it, people join people. They don't join companies. So, and, keep that in mind, that you want people to be successful. The only way to be successful in Team National is to help other people be successful. So, whatever you do, that's one of the things that we wanted to do. We went straight to Sky a few days into the business, and, we really wanted to be successful. We wanted to have the lifestyle that you guys had. So it was, very easy for us to say, oh, okay, this is how they found the success. I think we'll go out and do what they did. I think we'll go out and do what, and say what they said. And, that's awesome. Because I'll tell you, we hosted a lot of people in the very beginning of this business. Sky knows this, and of course our upline all knows it. But, not a lot of those people are actively working Team National, because we didn't show them the correct way to work the business in the beginning. And so it's not duplicatable. And, I strongly encourage you guys, to listen to what, people are, saying to you in this business, because, our job in this, and our responsibility as a leader in this business, is to teach you how to be successful. And, that's what we want for everybody, and everybody can have it. It's a matter of if you want it, and if you're willing to do what other people aren't willing to do. On your Saturdays, are you willing to get out here and work this business and prospect people and, run them through the system, the duplicatable system, or do you want to sit at home, like Bobby said, and watch football all day long? That football game isn't going to pay much. If anything at all, it's going to cost you money, most likely, because you're going to be feeding everybody snacks. But we like to eat when we watch football, and we love to watch some football, and we love to watch basketball, and there's a lot of things that we enjoy doing. But And we get to do a lot of those things now that we didn't get to do before because we had jobs that we were working. So, just keep that in mind is, being duplicatable, that is the key to success in this business. So, I'll just throw that in there, and Sky will kick it over to you. I know you got some stuff you want to add in. Thanks for having us.
Hey, yeah, you bet. My pleasure. We exhausted another battery, so so a little tiny bit of time left here before it runs out. So he's going to get that cranked up. We're going to stare at you for a second until he gets it back on here. There we go. All right. Hey, thanks so much, guys. I sure appreciate having you on here. And yes, great words of wisdom, and it is true. Well, with all the stuff, there's been some great information on here tonight. I hope that everybody got a whole lot out of it. Randy, Jennifer, thank you guys so much. We're going to have to go ahead and get her done for the night. Sure glad to have you on here. Yes, I'm excited about Tony being back on the call again, too. And now I have to go and write a new intro. See, I got to add him on that picture. So anyway, listen, guys, I hope you got some great stuff out of this tonight. We'll do some more of these. We're going to figure out how to do it long distance. Sure glad to have you on. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned a lot. We'll see you on the next one here. God bless you all. Good night, everybody. Have a great week. Go out and get her done. Bye, y'all.